Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today you're gonna get ready with me while I talk about how I traveled to 30, but I've been saying 35. I just actually counted and I've traveled to 30 countries span of 3 years. So I'm gonna tell you guys how I did it and why. We're gonna start off in January of 2020 when I took my first trip out the country. I went to Tulum, Mexico with my mom. It was a group trip with a travel company called Chit. It was so cute. It was like a little retreat. After that, I didn't travel for all of 2020 because of course you know the pandemic, so I was just traveling within the United States. But I had recently moved to Atlanta, so I wasn't like really trying to travel that much. Getting used to living in Atlanta. So in 2021, for my birthday in March, I decided to take a trip out the country. I went to Puerto Rico with my friend Mich. That trip, by the way, was so much fun. Looking back, I just realized I was so dumb back then. I was just making a bunch of like young dumb mistakes. So I literally maxed out my credit card to go on that trip because I wanted to stay at this super nice brand new hotel in San Juan, which is where we were. It was called OLV or something like that. So after that trip, I was in Atlanta for a bit. I can never stay in Atlanta for a long period of time. I took a trip to Tulum, Mexico by myself, solo trip. My first ever solo trip actually. While I was there, funny story, while I was there, I met this guy who was also from Atlanta. Like literally, I was at the Pablo Escobar mansion taking my pictures with my tripod. He was like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. I'm going to DR next. You should come with me. I'm going back to Atlanta, so you'll just fly back with me and then we'll go to DR in like 3 days. I just ordered so many like vacation clothes. So I was like, you know what, fine, I'll go back to Atlanta. I'll get my new clothes and I'm going back on vacation. And that's literally what we did. Went to DR, we went to Punta Cana, my first ever time in DR. It was beautiful. After that, December, I went to UK for the first time. I think it was around Thanksgiving time because I remember it was Thanksgiving in America, but nobody celebrated out there in the UK, so I was just like living my life, having fun. But I was wishing everyone like happy Thanksgiving. It was very interesting. Yes, I went to the UK where I met a bunch of friends. Like I met so many people on that trip. After that trip, I was like, you know what? I met some friends in the UK who were Jamaican and they were like, yeah, we're going to Jamaica for Christmas. I was like, oh, bet, I'm there. Next thing you know, I'm in Jamaica for the first time for Christmas. Jamaica, beautiful. I went to Negril, stayed at this gorgeous resort. Everything was the water, the white sands. Like they call it white sands for a reason. It's literally white sand. First time having ackee and saltfish. Flew back to Atlanta where I spent New Year's. Fast forward to 2022. For my birthday, I took another solo trip to Tulum. This was before like Tulum was really like people were just starting to get back on their travel bug from the pandemic. Like nobody's really going to Tulum like that. So it was still super affordable. Like it wasn't that touristy. It was a bit touristy, but not like it is now. I went to Tulum for my birthday. And after that, I went to the UK because I was dating this footballer at the time. Wait, that's a lie. I was dating a footballer and a UK rapper at the same time. So both of them wanted to see me. And I was like, okay, well, whoever helps me with my ticket is gonna see me first. The rapper helped me with my ticket. So I saw him first. I ended up seeing the footballer like a few days after that. And then I went to Greece because I was like kind of pissed off at him. So I took a solo trip to Santorini and it was so beautiful. My first time ever in Greece. I couldn't have imagined that I would have done it by myself. But then again, when you have like YouTube paycheck and also you're doing OnlyFans and that's just like a passive income, because at that point I had my management who had taken over my OnlyFans, so I was barely doing any work. I was literally just traveling, taking pictures and making money. And then YouTube, I was kind of posting vlogs at the time. I posted the actual vlog from Santorini if you guys want to check it out. It's still on my channel. Okay, so after I went to Greece, I met another footballer actually on Instagram. He slid in my DM. He was like, oh, well, I'm in Turkey right now because I'm playing for this Turkish team at the moment. So I'll fly you to Istanbul from Greece. I went to Istanbul, Turkey for the first time. It was beautiful. The hotel was so beautiful. I got this massage that was insane and I'm still thinking about it. After that, I went back to the UK for a bit, rested because I was doing so much back-to-back traveling. Went to I went to Santo Domingo in the DR because I was like, I miss the DR. Like, you know what? I want to go back by myself and experience it. I say that this big mistake, by the way, because I say that this all-inclusive resort. Oh my gosh, I was eating like there was no tomorrow. Like, it was free food, free alcohol. Like, I was having a time, and I was there by myself, so I really didn't give like the AF. I actually needed that trip. Like, I need to do another one of those. Note to self, take a solo trip and just do something all-inclusive. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. I actually took a bus from Santo Domingo to Punta Cana. So it's like, you know, you gotta budget some things so you can splurge on the other things. Like, don't fly to these two close cities. If you know there's a cheap bus, then you can splurge on the accommodation and be living your best life. After DR, I went back to Atlanta, stayed in my empty, lonely apartment by myself for like 2 months, got depressed, and was like, you know what, fuck Atlanta, I actually never want to live here again. I was paying like $3K a month for this 2-bedroom luxury nice high-rise apartment, but it was just too expensive. Why am I just sitting here not even really inspired by anything? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to Dubai. I moved to Dubai. I stayed there for 4 months. Dubai is one of the most beautiful, safest cities I've ever been to, and one day I'm going to live there again. Like, I'm actually gonna buy a property there, get an investment visa, and all of that. They're so smart with the way they spend their budget on the city. I had a very nice time, really just being an influencer and doing my YouTube channel career. So the thing about Dubai, right? If you're a stoner like me, you can only stay there for so long because the thing about me, I smoke just like a way to relieve stress from you. Yeah, Dubai, I'll see you next time, but I'm going to the closest country where weed is legal, and that was Georgia. I went to Tbilisi, Georgia. Such a beautiful European country. I've never been anywhere like that until I went there. I stayed at this Airbnb at first that had like a sauna in the bathroom. It was just so nice. It felt like I was living in a castle. Like, the whole city just gave me like palace vibes. Like, you're in an ancient European castle city. The wine is fantastic. The food is fantastic. I can't wait to go back to Georgia one day. And the weed, it's legal, but it's like hard to get a hold of. And if the police catch you with it, they'll make you pay a fine. I met like a lot of locals out there because the men out there, they really love black women. So they have no shame. They will come up and talk to you. They'll be like, yep, let's go to lunch. I'll buy you wine. I'll take you on a tour of the city. Like, they love us out there. I went by myself, so of course I had to be safe and not really go out as much. I came to sightseeing, like I was doing everything, and I met this guy who was a local, and he was like showing me everywhere. He was so nice. I'm so grateful for him. So then I had to go back to the UK because the first time I went to the UK in December of 2021, I had lost my passport. So they had given me an emergency passport so I could just travel out because I was already leaving. Temporary passport they gave me expired within a year. So it had been a year now. The shiny stamp in my new passport was France. The same country that arrested me for having the temporary passport and detained me. But you know what, I said, let me give France another chance. Let me just give them another chance. So I went back and I went to Paris for the first time. Gorgeous city, but please do something about the smell of piss and the rats and just do something about that and it will be great. I actually stayed outside of Paris in a city called Domont. I was going crazy on skincare. Like, La Roche-Posay was my middle name at that point. I'm in Paris and I get like this DM out of nowhere. This guy, he's like, I want you to come to Ivory Coast. By the way, guys, don't answer your DMs and just let anybody fly you anywhere, okay? Be cautious and mindful, right? So this guy had been asking me this for like 2 years. And I was always ignoring him, but he saw that I was in Paris. He was put you at this really nice hotel in Abidjan, go to this really nice resort in Cocody. I was like, you know what, whatever, like, what can I lose? Like, the most that will happen is I die. And he books me, first of all, he booked me in business class, so I knew he was like serious. And that was my first time ever flying in business class. I was geeked. I stayed at the La Maison. Oh God, it was super nice, and I'll put the pictures. And then we took a trip by boat to this resort called La Mesa du Cula. It was so nice. The guy turned out to actually be really nice. He's like a billionaire. He owns mines and things like that. He was a cool guy. He actually supported me in a lot of different ways after that date. I actually told him, I was like, I want to take a trip to Amsterdam. Like, I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. So he was like, you know what, okay. He booked me a hotel in Amsterdam and paid for my flight. I was in Amsterdam for 2 weeks after that. Netherlands. I don't know what number country we're on, but we're getting somewhere. The Netherlands, I went to Prague because it was right there. And I was like, okay, well, since I'm in Netherlands, I might as well explore Europe. By the way, I was taking Eurobus like everywhere. $30 to go from country to country. From Prague, I took the bus to Germany. I went to Berlin and Stuttgart, where they make Porsche. Like, that's where Porsche is made. They have so many beautiful art museums out there. Like, I was obsessed. The art scene out there is crazy in Germany. After Germany, I went to Spain. Germany was getting a little cold. I was like, you know what? I need to be on a beach. Like, I can't be out of the sun. So I took a trip to Palma de Mallorca by myself. I went to like 4 different beaches on the island. Mind you, these beaches are like 2 hours away from each other. So I was taking the local buses. Everybody only speaks Spanish. I was literally like brushing up on my Spanish. Luckily, I know a little bit because I took some in high school and living in LA. I knew my Spanish. I was talking with the locals, having a great time. Loved Mallorca. Can't wait to go back. I walked through some of the neighborhoods sometime, and it's so safe. Like, I was walking at night just through the neighborhoods where the villas were. Nobody was disturbing me. Everything was great. I would walk to the beach, from the beach. Only thing I would not recommend walking, because those hills, you will be fit by the time you leave. From Mallorca, I went back to America because I was with my friends. By the way, we're still in 2022. So it's like, last year I didn't spend the holidays with you guys, but this year I will. I was like, let's take a cruise. It would be my first cruise, your first cruise. We can do our content creation thing. So we took a cruise for the first time. We went to Honduras, Mexico, and Bahamas. Beautiful. We cruised with Virgin Voyages. Oh, it was amazing. Everything was included. Food, drinks. They even gave us a little stipend to spend in the store. Like, we were having a grand time. We went snorkeling. We swam with sharks. We explored a shipwreck. What else did we do? We just did so much. My first ever actual girls trip. We had our other friend Yin also. A couple months went by. I was in Atlanta, and then I went to go on another trip. So Virgin Voyages hosted me and my friend Indigo, and we went to Key West, Mexico, and the Bahamas. Beautiful. Again, such a great time with Virgin Voyages, because like, you just party, you eat, and you explored. Amazing. I love cruising with them. This is around Christmas time now, so I went to visit my aunt who lives in Hawaii, and I spent Christmas there. She lives in Hilo, which is like the big island, but it's very jungle. And so I spent New Year's in Honolulu, which is like the city. Best New Year's Eve I ever had. That was so much fun. Like, I met so many amazing people in Honolulu. Like, you'd be surprised. There's like a large black population out there, and they are stoners like me, and they surf and they eat fruit. Now we're in 2023. I think my makeup is even done now, and I still have like a whole year to go. I started off in LA. I flew to LA from Hawaii because I just wanted to see my mom. Then from LA I went to Turkey again to see my little footballer boyfriend who ain't shit, but he actually was super sweet. So I told him that I wanted to really see Cappadocia, because we were in Adana, which is like a city in Turkey. It's just where he lived at the time. He booked me a flight to Cappadocia. I paid for my hotel. It was so nice. I went and saw the hot air balloons my first time. It was like I was very emotional during that trip, because I was like, wow, I've always wanted to see these places, and I'm literally living my dream. It really set the tone for the year. I went back to UK to visit my friends that I have there. For one, it was her birthday, and for two, I just missed them and I went to see them. Again, too much time in the cold, it does something to me. I got really sick, losing weight, I wasn't eating, and something in my heart for years was telling me to go to Brazil. So I said, you know what, let me look at the flights. The flight to Brazil was $500. My YouTube check had just come that day. I said, let me book it now. 2 days later, I got my ass up and I went to Rio. I stayed there for 4 months. I was speaking Portuguese. I was going to the beach every day. I was buying swimsuits. I started a swimsuit line. I was making so many friends. I was eating açaí and feijão and pão de queijo every day. I miss it so much. I spent my birthday there. I turned 24 in Brazil because this is 2023. I stayed for Carnival. It was a time my friend came and visited me from LA. Tiffany, love her to death. She actually just came and visited me in Nigeria. There was parades on my street every day. Like, we were outside, Petro style block parties every day, every weekend. When I was there, I told myself I'm never leaving. The only reason I left was to take my mom on a cruise for her birthday, and then I just never went back. I know I'll make my way back. From Brazil, I took my mom on a cruise. That was my 3rd cruise in 2 years. We went to Mexico and the Bahamas. Someone actually died on that cruise. It was actually kind of crazy. After that, I went to Colombia. I was like, let me just travel a little bit more, see where I actually want to live, because I want to find somewhere that I could live that's not America. I went to Bogota, Cartagena. Beautiful. I love Colombia. Although Cartagena, the men there they have no shame. Like, the catcalling is on a different level. If you're black and you even have this much meat on your body, you're finished. It's not the safest place to travel, especially alone as a black woman. Be mindful of that. Next, I went to Peru because it was right next door to Colombia. I went to Ica. I wanted to really see like the natural wildlife out there because I saw this place on Instagram. It was like a mirage in the desert, but it's an actual like desert city, sand dunes and everything. Peru was fun. After Peru, I flew to South Africa, but we had a stop in Qatar, and I was there for like a whole day. So I count Qatar as another country. Then I landed in South Africa. I went to Cape Town first, spent 2 weeks there. Beautiful city. I went to Joburg, spent 2 weeks there. Beautiful, walking with elephants. This was actually my first of 2 trips to South Africa. Like, I love South Africa so much. I took another cruise with Virgin Voyages. This is my 4th cruise. We went to Greece and Turkey. We did Mykonos, Bodrum, and Rhodes. Beautiful time. Try to speed this up because I know the video is getting a little long. So from Athens, because that's where we started and ended our cruise, I flew to Zanzibar, Tanzania. My first ever time in Zanzibar. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. I swam with turtles, I snorkeled with dolphins, like I saw some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Starfish, and the fruit is so, the eggs taste so good because the chickens, I don't know what they do to them chickens, but them eggs, the scrambled eggs I had every morning, no, I've never had eggs like that in my life since. Zanzibar is one of those places that I'm dreaming about going back, as well as Brazil. From Zanzibar, I was like, you know what, let me stay in the Indian Ocean a little bit. So I went to the Maldives. It's so overpriced. So what I did, I stayed on Male, which is the main island. I did day trips to each of the islands. So I went to Himafushi, I went to like 3 different private island resorts, and like the day passes are like a fraction of the cost of even staying there for a night. I would actually do that again. But from Maldives, I went to UAE because it's actually really close, like $200 direct flight. I went to Abu Dhabi so I could visit the Sheikh Zayed Mosque, and then I stayed in Dubai for a little bit because, as you know, I love Dubai. Stayed there before. Like, Dubai is just a place where you can just go and relax, like feel safe, work out, and then go back on the road. From Dubai, I was like, ugh. I started thinking, I was like, where haven't I been? Like, I've been to every continent except Asia. Where is the cheapest flight to Asia that I can get from Dubai International Airport? I didn't find one. When I looked for Abu Dhabi International Airport, I found a flight to Thailand for $600. I said, let's get on that. A week later, I was on a flight to Bangkok. I stayed in Bangkok for a week. I love Thailand. For 1, because weed is legal. For 2, the food is amazing. For 3, it's insanely cheap. And it's beautiful. So I stayed in Bangkok, experienced the city vibe. I love my Airbnb. I did the rooftop bars, I did the After the Rain cafe, I ate the fruit at the night market, floating market tour. It was amazing. It rained almost every day, but it was still so beautiful. Swimming with elephants at the beach. I was holding baby tigers. Pawaburi beachfront resort. I did the Fifi Island tour. I was on a little canoe boat. I was having a time in Thailand. I met so many people from Australia telling me, like, you should go to Bali next. Like, it's just right there. Like, all of us Australians, we go to Bali and we just, you know, that's like our weekend spot. So I was like, okay, let me go to Bali. I went to Bali after that. This is, I think, my 25th country at this point. I might be wrong. I spent a month in Bali. Bali was beautiful. There was so much to do, and there's actually a really big industry for influencers out there. So while I was out there, I was getting sponsored hotel stays. I was doing sponsored activities, Bali Zoo. Not funny, but I actually ended up getting hit by a car in Bali. Almost broke my entire leg, but because I had my tripod on my side, I walked away with literally just a scratch on my knee. And I flew up in the air and I landed on my ass. So there was a scratch on my ass as well. And immediately after that, I went and got a tattoo on my ankle. So I'm insanely blessed. From Indonesia, I went back to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for like 3 months, and I was like, I'm getting that itch again. I'm getting that travel bug. So I said, you know what? Let me just go somewhere close really quickly for like a weekend. I went to Panama. I stayed in Panama City at a really nice hotel just for a couple days to relax. Then I went to Jamaica for a month. I went back to Negril, stayed there for like 3 weeks, and then I did a week in Montego Bay. I was doing the jet skis, I was doing the ATVs, I was doing the river rafting. Like, it was a cute little time in Montego Bay, and those pictures ate the gram up. Did they not? Did you see them? They ate. After Jamaica, I went back to Atlanta, then did like a few days in NYC because weed is legal there, and I went to hit the dispensaries and get my hair braided by the African aunties. This is December at this point, and I was like, you know what? I really want to have my first dirty December. So I was like, you know what? I just need to be in Africa, period. Let me just start in Africa. And my friend Indigo was like, you know what? I'm going to do Africa too during December, but let's do Cape Town. So I went to Morocco first. I did Marrakech, stayed in Riyadh. Saw the YSL Museum. Everything in Morocco is beautiful. Beautiful. I can't wait to go back. I stayed there for a week, and then I met her in Cape Town. Did the activities. We ate so much good food, but Cape Town was so like cold and windy, and we thought Dirty December was gonna be like the warm, vibrant time in South Africa. So we were confused. We were like, what is this? Like, it's cold every time we step outside. What is this? Stayed there for like 2 weeks, and then she was like, you know what? I really want to do the December in Ghana. And I said, you know what, me too, let's book our flight. I think she went to go home and spend the holidays with her family. So, and I didn't. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it for sure. Booked my flight to Ghana. It was $500 one way from Cape Town. And I went solo and did Accra in December. I was there all month, literally from December 15 to January 14. I did 2 cities, Tamale and Accra. So, because people ask me this a lot. People are like, why did you come to Nigeria? While I was in Ghana, I met so many Nigerian people. Some of them I knew already from like Instagram. So everyone was telling me like, you should have done during December in Nigeria. It's way better than Ghana. You should come now. Like, even in January, it's gonna be cool. I said, okay, if you will help me with the visa, because that was the only thing that was holding me ever back from coming to Nigeria was that visa. Like, I applied in Atlanta once and I never heard from them. You know what? Fuck it. I'm never going to Nigeria. Got the visa on arrival. I came to Nigeria on January 14th. I've been in Nigeria, living here. Initially, I came for a vacation. I was just gonna stay maybe a month or 2. But my ex, who I met in Jamaica, we had an on-off relationship for like a few years, and it was because we never lived in the same place. So it was like, you know what, let's give it a try while you're in Nigeria. He kept extending my visa, and then ultimately I got a green card, which I have now. I have NIN, BVN. I'm basically a Nigerian citizen without a passport. Business here, a few businesses here. I have an apartment. Basically live here now. Didn't travel to one country besides Nigeria in 2024. That, in conclusion, is the 30 countries that I've been to. You always wonder, like, how the hell did you travel to 30 countries in 3 years? I'll get into a deeper story of like moving to Nigeria if you guys want. Leave a comment and I'll do a whole like breakdown on my process, what happened when I was living with my ex, and how I got my place, and the struggles. I'll do a whole video on living in Nigeria. This is actually my first storytime video, so if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, and I'll be doing more very soon. Finish my makeup way before I even finish the story time, but it's okay. See you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. I love you. See you next time.